What's going on? Today we have the week later review of the realme X50 5G. Now, I will start by saying that I am blown away by this phone. I can't believe the price for what you get. It's what I think this phone should cost a lot more, and I don't really know how it's possible that a phone costing $299 can perform this well. But yeah, I've had this phone for a week now. Been messing about with it, playing around, taking some photos, playing some games on it. I haven't been using it seriously intensively, but I've been using it fairly a lot, trying to use it as much as possible. But yeah, as I said, this phone has blown me away so far, and we'll go over some of the pros and cons. But just a heads up, they are mainly pros. There is practically no cons with this. So yeah, what I did do was slip the case on this, just because I'm quite a clumsy person, and I reckoned if I didn't put it on, I would break it. But it does have Gorilla Glass panels, so I mean, probably wouldn't break it, but I just didn't want to take that risk. And I did actually drop it, so it's a good job I did put it on. But yeah, some of the good specs, I would say, some of the key sort of specs that blow you away are the responsiveness of this unlock camera and the unlock fingerprint scanner. It literally just unlocks by you placing your thumb on it. So you can see I had to boop, put it on. But I'm right-handed, so with my thumb, I guess if you were left-handed, it'd be this finger here. I haven't put that finger on. But yeah, no, it's pretty fast. You can see how quick that sort of works. I literally just switch it on, bam, face register, super, super quick. So even if you didn't have your finger scanned on there, the face and the raise to wake, it's practically always unlocked. The 120 Hz refresh rate makes this phone extremely smooth. I'll give you an example here on the sort of some news feed. You can just see how quickly this thing scrolls. No lag whatsoever. I do struggle to see the difference between 90 and 120 Hz, but this is just super smooth. No lag, no nothing. And I did notice that with videos and games I was playing, no lag. And I don't know how they got a 120 Hz screen in a phone that costs $299. That's usually reserved for really high-end phones. Even the X50 Pro doesn't have a 120 Hz refresh rate. So how do they get it in here? I don't know. Some other key features that I have picked up on while we've been reviewing this phone is the features on such a thing like the gaming. So you can sort of slide down from the top and it'll show you all these different settings. So you've got Messenger and WhatsApp Messenger. You can mute them if you wanted to. You can have block all notifications. Shows you your FPS rate, your CPU usage, your GPU usage. You can take a screenshot, you can see game news, you can have autoplay and lock, you can reject calls, and you can screen record so you can capture all those good clips that you get on your game. So yeah, that's really useful, and considering this model isn't sold primarily aimed at gamers, this is a really interesting feature to have on a phone. And I think, you know, you'll probably see this in a lot of phones in the future. I definitely think it's a step in the right direction for phones and gaming. But yeah, that's a cool little feature, I thought. Pretty impressive. The screen itself, even though it is LCD display, it does still manage to get those dark areas. I kind of didn't see anything, and people always say one of the main criticisms was the brightness of the display, saying it wouldn't be bright enough, but for me, it's been more than bright. When I turn the brightness up this whole way here, it does even seem a little bit too bright for me at sometimes, and it's a very sunny day today, and I had this outside, and you'll still be able to see it's very bright. So I think only in very specific scenarios with this screen be too dark. But yeah, no, on the whole, a very good looking screen. It also performs very well gaming wise because of that 6 GB of RAM. So that is a large amount of RAM for a phone. I think because realme have variants which have like 12 gig RAM, that makes this 6 gig of RAM look really small, but I'll be the first to tell you that this 6 gig RAM does perform really well, and that is usually quite a lot of RAM, especially for a sub £300 phone like this realme X50. So very, very impressive and very, very quick and snappy. As I said in every video we do about realme, I always say I love their UI. It is basically just a ColorOS skin, but it does look great, and it has some of these features such as this app drawer, which is actually really useful, and you also have this little slider here that you can fill up with anything you want to put in it. You can add all these apps. If you wanted Google in it, you can add that. You want your compass in there, you can add all of these, and then you can just quickly access them if you wanted to. So yeah, pretty interesting, pretty easy, and very useful. My main criticism would be with the punch hole camera. Now, I have said in many videos I'm not a big fan of the location of cameras, especially when they're sort of in the display. I'm not a big fan of it at all. It just seems to take a bit of room. Now, realme does counteract this by you can cut that area out and just have like a screen within it, so you don't have to have that blocking a bit of your view. But I just think if you could use the whole screen, it'd be a lot more useful and a lot more better looking, in my opinion, especially when you're playing games, watching movies. I think it doesn't take up a large amount of the screen. It's just annoying that it doesn't seem like equal, and I don't know if that's me being just a little bit strange, but I don't know, it just annoys me slightly. It's not a deal breaker. I just think there's better ways of doing it, like for example, I always go back to the 9X when it pops out at the top. I just think that is a much cleaner way, just a better way of having a camera. But the selfie camera, other than it being a little bit of an annoying place for me personally, extremely crisp, an extremely good camera. You can even have portrait mode like this, and you can see that it just sort of focuses on your face. So yeah, no, it is a very good camera on the whole. It just, for me personally, that is a con, where it's sort of a punch hole in the middle of the screen, taking up a little bit of space. Now, a few people were moaning about the speaker, saying it wasn't loud enough, but I have no complaints about the speaker. It's loud, it's crisp, it does a good job of being a speaker. I mean, better phones with better speakers on the market, but on the whole, it's been pretty good. I could hear it from, standing 5-10 meters away. I could still hear the speaker when I was watching my YouTube videos or watching a movie. I could always still hear it. So yeah, no, on the whole, good speaker as well. On the rear of the realme X50, you've got a quad camera setup. So you've got a 64 megapixel camera at the top, followed by an 8 megapixel camera beneath it, 12 megapixel camera below that, and a 2 megapixel camera below that. Now, the camera isn't the best. It's not the most incredible camera that there is on the market, but again, for sub £300, this is probably the best camera out there in that price range. It does blow basically every other camera out the water in that sense. We'll show you a little bit here what the camera can do. You see that it has this super wide angle here, so you can see sort of drawn out areas. And now it does lose a little bit of darkness areas. It does make bits look a little bit darker, so you need to make sure that when you take those photos on that you have a extremely light background. You can switch to a manual mode and do sort of customization if you're really into photography and wanted to get those very specialized shots. You can also switch to use the primary camera itself, just take those really crisp shots. And they do keep a lot of colour. The colour is accentuated a little bit, so it does look a little bit brighter in areas, but it looks very natural in my opinion, and I think the camera does a good job at processing all those little things. Your portrait pictures sort of blur the background, give the focus on that main area, and you've got those ginormous 64 megapixel pictures as well that you can use there. On the front of the phone, you've got that selfie camera, which is a 16 megapixel camera and an 8 megapixel camera, so they're always going to be really crisp and really clear. You can have that in portrait mode as well, so you can blur the background if you want to focus on your selfies and focus on your face. So yeah, they take very good photos, and the realme X50 5G does have a very good camera. Now, as the name also states with the realme X50 5G, this does have 5G capabilities, so it's future-proof in that sense. So when your network provider decides to give you 5G capabilities in your area, you'll be prepared with the realme X50. Unfortunately, where we are, we don't have those 5G capabilities, and I did try to get somewhere with 5G, but it just didn't work out. So maybe that's something we'll do in the future. We'll try and get a few different 5G phones together and see what's the fastest speed we can get going, but unfortunately this week I couldn't get there to somewhere with 5G speeds. The battery on this device is absolutely ginormous. As I haven't been using this 24/7, I've only needed to charge it 3 times this entire week that I've been using it, and I've never seen it go below 30%. So basically your battery use is not going to be a problem. I can imagine if you use this every single day, you'd get home, use it, even if you use it non-stop, you'd still have a bit of juice left at the end of the day. So this phone could probably last you a good 2 days if you were careful with it like we were. So yeah, battery extremely good, 4,200 milliamp hours, ginormous, and is optimized very well. So on the whole, this phone is absolutely breathtaking. The colorway is awesome, the aluminium body, the speaker, the camera, the display. For under £300, you literally cannot get a better phone, in my personal opinion. And this phone has really blown out the water and set the bar very high for these, well, you could say mid-range phones, but I mean boasting flagship specs really. So I don't know where this falls really. Mid to high range beast, I would say. If you've enjoyed this video and our quick review, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see our first impressions and first unboxing, that'll be linked in the description below. We did that on our main channel, ePhones, and that'll be linked in the description below, so you can check that out. If you have any questions about this realme X50, let us know in the comments below. We have it for sale right now on eFones.com for $299. You can see that. That will also be linked in the description below. Make sure to check that out. This phone is incredible. It has really blown me away, and I really think if you're looking at a phone to buy and you've got 300 quid to spend, this is definitely the phone I would recommend. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.